Hi, everyone. This is episode 12 of Bootstrapping Saas. And today I'm going to try to keep it on the positive note a bit. My friend from Mega Maker, Tarshan, he said that I should be doing a upbeat one. And I'll tell you the reason why he said that. All right, so I'll jump right in it. This week, accidentally, actually, I just noticed that Claritask had crossed the $500 mark all-time revenue. So this is month 6. It hasn't been done actually yet. So July would represent month 6, and I have just reached $546 in total revenue. That's what Stripe dashboard says. And also for the first time, there is $200 on the Claritask bank account in Silicon Valley Bank. That's where the bank account is. So I just noticed that as I was looking through the stats, through the metrics on Stripe dashboard, and it sort of made me feel really good that even though it's not an MRR, monthly recurring revenue, I sort of felt great that something I've built by myself with the help of a lot of people actually around. I can't deny that it wasn't all me. I mean, I've coded it all, but also a lot of people around have helped me. And yeah, it felt pretty good, knowing that, hey, this thing, is making money, can make money, and I can use that money to live off of. So that was really cool. And I really wanted to celebrate that with this episode, and just sort of whoever's building something out there, you just, I'm not an old, I used to be a sort of a guy that says, never quit, work hard. I'm not like that anymore. I'm sort of more of, I heard this quote recently. It's sort of a two-word sentence, if I can say. It is begin again. And I sort of love that more than never quit or work hard, because the sentence, the quote, begin again, it sort of gives me the peace to rest when I'm tired, to give up when I can't go no longer. But I also have this promise to myself to begin again. So, if you're building something and, there's nothing and nothing is picking up, maybe just take a breather and then begin again tomorrow, and see what happens, So that sort of is keeping me motivated a lot, that little sentence. And I've actually learned it from someone on Twitter, and I can't remember who it was. It was someone I follow, and I will list it in the notes and the show notes, so you guys can follow them, because they have a lot of I can't remember their name. I know sort of the profile of the person, but I can't remember their name. But they produce a lot of great tweets and content that you can maybe use to to motivate yourself. So that was sort of this first thing, and I wanted to thank Tarshan as well for saying that I should maybe make an episode that's a little bit more upbeat, because maybe a couple of last episodes that were sort of it's hard building a SaaS product, especially if you're targeting businesses worldwide, like I'm doing, and building it yourself. So sometimes you get down, and so maybe my last podcast came through as a little bit depressive. Maybe, I don't know. I have to go back and listen to them. So I'm gonna try to keep this upbeat and positive, but I'm not gonna hide any scars if there's any. All right, so here's the first scar. So as money was running low, I started, I was looking for some projects, just local, websites and apps that I can build quickly and get paid. So I got this project. It was for a university. It was a website, sort of an existing website they had with their headquarters, and they had to do something, sort of a copy paste, but I had to implement the new CMS in it. And it was a really small project, like 1,200. I think it would be in euros. It's 1,400, and in dollars it would be something like $1,700, which is not bad. I mean, considering the point where I am with my finances, I'm trying to bootstrap this. It's good money to pay some of the family expenses. So I always start client work with some sort of deposit, like 30%, 20%, which they paid right away. However, when the project started, the client started becoming, I don't know what the word is, but they were very anxious about how things are going to come out. They couldn't find somebody that could place in the content. They didn't want to pay extra money for me to help him transfer all the content, because there was a lot. So he switched two different people to deal with the content. And in the meantime, I had built the whole technical part completely. So there was really nothing for me to do anymore besides waiting for them to put the content in. And I had sent, on my initial offer, I had said to them that, look, I expect to be paid as soon as I'm done with the technical part, which is getting the website ready for you to post content in. So they agreed on it, and now they've disappeared. So they're nowhere to be found. They're in a different country. So I can't even, if I wanted to take some legal action, like for $1,200, $1,100 that they owe me at this point, it would be just insane amount of energy and work, and I don't even know how I would go about that. So they've disappeared. They're not answering calls. They're not answering emails. So that was the first car, and I wasted on and off 2 weeks with that project. Even the times that I wasn't working at it, I was stressing about that project being done and getting paid. And the other one happened with the other scar happened with a friend of mine that I know, and he has a company, an agency, and they have this huge client, and they wanted to rebuild the menu they have on that website. It was a small project, good money again, and I built it out using JS and just a simple HTML, JS sort of build. And I work on it for 2 days, full time, like fully immersed in it, because they had 5 levels of navigation, all these transitions left and right, and etc. So I did it like they wanted to, and delivered it to them. And then he comes back and says, "Oh, our CTO, he says that we can't use JS, so we have to do the whole thing in HTML, with toggles and keyframes and whatnot." And honestly, I don't know that stuff quite well, and it would take me so long to rebuild the thing. So that was very, very, I got really down about it because I wasted 2 days on it, and here I am stuck with something that they can't really use because they decided they don't want it. On the other side, they said they would pay, but the project is not really done. So I don't know. We've actually left it to talk again next week. But I just wanted to show you a glimpse of how it is when you're trying to get your product, your SaaS product, to a certain MRR, but in the meantime you want to keep the lights on, and you're sort of forced to take these projects that you really wouldn't take normally because they have some red lights, and here I am, taking these projects, not getting paid for either one of them probably, besides the deposit on the first one. So yeah, maybe the first client, the university, will resurface at some point, but you know how it is when you deliver a project and you have to pick it up again and you don't even know where you left off, to launch it, etc. So that's gonna be quite a that's gonna be interesting. We'll see what happens. But yeah, building a SaaS product on your own, trying to keep the lights on while your MRR is growing, or you're trying to grow to a certain point. It's really hard. The reality is tough, especially when you have family and kids. It's such, and when you're not by yourself only, it gets much tougher. So if you're young and don't have a family yet, I would suggest to really go at it full force. Because you have all the time in the world and your expenses are not that high to really make something out of your time. So yeah. On the good side of things, Claritask has never been better. One of the biggest clients that was also the first client who signed up. Initially, there were somewhere around 12, 15 people. Now they're 48. So they've brought in more people. They've invited their entire staff, all their departments almost, because they're a big company. They're VC funded. And they just keep adding people on and on and on. They love the product. Their feedback is great. Also, the other clients as well, they're using Claritask on a daily basis. They're very happy with it. And I actually am building the Claritask profile on Capterra, which is a directory for SaaS products, different kinds of products. And I really want to give it a shot because people that visit Capterra are highly qualified leads, and I've used Capterra before, so I want to pump up, if I can use that word, my profile in there, with all reviews, etc. So what happens is this: Capterra, when you list your profile on Capterra, Capterra reaches out to you and says, hey, if you want us to facilitate your review process, we can do that for you if you send an email list to us, which we won't share with anybody. That's our promise. And, we are willing to pay a $20, I think it's an Amazon gift card. I'm not sure if it's a cash thing, for anyone who's willing to leave a review, either negative or positive. They don't filter reviews. You cannot edit them. You cannot hide them, I think. So everything that appears there, it has to be there unless you notice that maybe a competitor or somebody wanting to do you harm is trying to, do something bad to your business. Then you can dispute that, and then they go through a process. However, everything goes through them transparently. So what I did is I opt in for that, and initially I reminded my users that, hey, you will receive an email from Capterra in the next following week or so, and they will reach out to you. You will get a $20 gift card for your time. You don't have to do the review if you don't want to. And please don't do it. This is what I said in the email. Please don't do it for the gift card. If you do it, Capterra is willing to pay you for the time that you have spent writing that review. But don't just do it for the money. Do it because you like ClearTask. Or if you don't, then just say it. It's okay. Leave a negative review as well. But I said at the end, if you can, give me your most positive side, if you can, that would be very helpful in this early stages of my product. So I sent the email, and before even Capterra reached out to users, about 13 of them placed in reviews organically without even taking part in the gift from Capterra. So that was really cool. And one of the reviews came from a client who said that, I don't want the 20 from Capterra at all. I really love the product. I believe in the product. So, just want to leave the feedback for you. So I'm going to read some of them for you. They're really good. I didn't even talk to these users before they left. Besides that email I sent them, like they never heard from me. Let me just go to the website about, what they should write about, etc. So Capterra, let me just find my profile here. All right, so here it is. There's 13 reviews, all 5 stars. So the stars go into overall 5 stars, ease of use 5 stars, customer service 5 stars, etc. There's one, I'm going to just single out a couple of different words. So one of the clients says, I haven't run across a project management tools as helpful and modern as ClearTask. And this is a client who have used a lot of project management until I'll introduce them to ClearTask, and they love it, and their feedback is great. They've made ClearTask better with their feedback, etc. So next word is very important. The next sentence that they've said is super important to me, and this means a lot. And this is actually what I want ClearTask to stand for in years to come. So it says, new features are added very often that me and my team don't even realize we need it. And I really love this bit because that makes me feel that I'm anticipating what they could possibly like, because I use ClearTask, and when I'm thinking about a new feature, I'm thinking of, hey, will this make my way of doing things in ClearTask better, quicker, faster? So one specific example is I've added a quick task feature, which is a little plus sign on the bottom right of the corner, which is always there. And when you have a new idea, and you want to add a task, you don't have to go to a certain workspace, project, and list. You can just click the plus button. You can, from a drop-down list, you can select the workspace, any workspace you're a part of, select the project, and then add that task. And it's simple as that. So, it allows you to add tasks in any workspace without leaving the space that you're in right now. So, that's helpful for me. So, I've launched that, and a couple of users started using it, and they love it. So I'm not sure if this comment was particularly for that. Maybe I have to check in with this particular user, but comments like this are really helpful and really mean to me a lot, because that's what I want ClearTask to be always, just anticipating what users may like, things that they don't even know they might need, and then, boom, they're like on ClearTask. And one day they come to work and they start using that bit, and they're happy about it. So that's what I like. I'm always talking about the MRR, the money that I should be making with it, etc. But money, even when I reach the monthly recurring revenue that I need to feed my family first and myself, my overall joy and my overall dedication is to having happy clients, because all of us can do other things that maybe make more money, but we have chosen this road that we think we can contribute and sort of have users benefit from it. Like that's sort of our contribution to the market we're serving. And maybe that's the way we should think about the products that we do. Like what is Claritas contribution? Maybe that's a big question to sort of ask and answer at the same time. But it's a good question to have in mind. Like what is my contribution, even as a person, or now thinking on product terms, like how is Claritas or how is my product contributing on daily basis to the users that it's serving. So yeah. And then other things go, like other good comments. They say, what impressed me the most has to be the customer service. The founder seems to be very invested in the product and is never hesitant to reply to emails and even listen to suggestions from our team for new features. In fact, he sends personalized emails asking for feedback. So yeah, that's one of the comments that has a lot more to read. Another one, I love the flexibility it offers me as a user. I can add tasks easily on different projects without having the need to go to the project I'm adding a task for. So they're talking about the quick task, actually. So that's cool. Cons are usually not that many. I really cannot think about a single thing that I would say that is a con on Claritas. Of course, I think there's always room to improve, but for the moment, this software marks all boxes. And then a few people mentioned the mobile, which I don't have yet. Claritas is responsive, but it's not. I don't have the iOS or Android apps yet, and I think that will take time until I do get to those. Yeah, but not a lot of people have asked them about them actually. So yeah, these people, there's 13 users that have actually left these reviews, these organic reviews. They haven't taken part in the Capterra gift for writing a review. They've done it organically on their own. They went to the link. You can do the same if you are using Claritas. You can do the same by going to the Claritas profile on Capterra and can just leave a review. You can verify it with your LinkedIn account, or you can just leave it with your email, I think. And you can leave any comment you want. Positive would be great, but then again, I don't really have even on my dashboard, there's no way for me to edit. The only way for me to do is to dispute a review if I notice, or Capterra notice that it's malicious or it's trying to harm the product, etc. So yeah, I'm gonna work on making my Capterra profile a lot better. And I've noticed some registrations. I'm not sure if they're coming from Capterra. I should start tracking maybe with Google Analytics or Mixpanel. I'll try to hook them up and then see where they're coming from. But for now, I can't really tell. So, but I've noticed a spike, not a lot, but just a few new users, which are from not from my network. So that's really cool. Another thing I'm working on is the new website, which will be straight up content. And one thing I'm going to try to do, I'm going to have it all typed. I'm going to try to have as little icons and photos as possible. So this is what I'm going to try to do. And it should be coming next week. I'm going to be working a little bit more today. And then it's going to have case studies, user guides, and really no fluff, if I can say that. So there won't be like much sales copy. It will be just straight up. And I went, again, I mentioned this on Twitter. I went back to my initial offering of $50 per month, which was the only price point at the time when I launched Claritas, and it was unlimited. Before and then after that, I introduced some lower tier prices because I was receiving emails from people saying, is there a lower tier? We're a smaller team, etc. But I decided to remove lower tiers because they're bringing in a lot of noise from clients who maybe cannot afford it or maybe are just starting out. And I can't really afford to give a lot of support because I'm a solo founder. I'm the only person. And the only way for me to go forward is to serve bigger clients who are more stable, who won't be running out of business anytime soon, can pay the $50 price point, and are happy doing it because Claritas is really valuable for them, which is true because Claritas is really a good fit for teams of 5 to 10 people. Maybe they have somebody remotely. They have a lot of projects going on. It's really not a good fit maybe for 2 people. They could use it if they really want it, if they want to support the product. And I mean, it is, of course, but the best sort of clients are at 10 people, etc. Yeah, so let me see what else I have on the list here that I wrote before starting this show. So yeah, I was talking about the website features. I'm not sure if I'm going to take a lot of projects. Honestly, I'm going to be a little bit more selective with getting some client work, consultancy work, because as I said in the beginning of the show, they've taken a lot of time, and I wasn't getting paid for certain reasons that I mentioned, and that's where it's at right now. And also, I want to one last thing I want to mention is that I had a chat with Corey Hames from Baremetrics. He's the head of growth there, and he reached out, which I thank him a lot. Hi, Corey, if you're listening, thank you for the call. It was super, super incredible. He helped me a lot with a lot of things that I'm going through, and one of the things he said, which is super obvious, but not obvious to me apparently, is that he asked me who is Claritask for, because he said, looking at the website, I can't really tell if this is for indie makers, is it for agencies, is it for construction companies? I don't really have, my message is not clear. My message is not clear. And in my head, in my mind, I know exactly who Claritask is for, and it's for agencies and digital marketing, advertising, design, with teams of 10 people plus. And I'm not saying that anywhere on the website. Maybe I did it intentionally, not to limit myself in serving everybody, which is wrong. And I really need to put that in. So, thanks to Corey for sort of pointing that out. I mean, it's super obvious now, and it's probably obvious to everybody but me. So on the new website, I'm going to try to really make a point of that, who Claritask is for. And just sort of, position myself. He recommended this book, which I've been trying to read, but I haven't really gotten to it yet. And it's by, let me just open it up real quick. It just launched, and you guys probably know it's by April Dunford. It's obviously awesome, and it talks about how to position yourself. And I'm going to be reading that as I launch my new website. And that's it for the show today. I try to keep it clean and short because I'm recording as well, and I'm running out of space in my MacBook. So I hope I've recorded everything to this point. All right, talk soon. Bye.